Hello everyone, Zoe here. Today I'm having one of those days where I semi feel like being spontaneous and just kind of talking about what's been on my mind lately. I don't have the same kind of hype slash motivation that I do with past, I guess, spontaneous videos because today's been very much of a freeze day for me. I haven't really been able to get around to much writing and I literally feel like I can't like really do more than what I've done today. I just feel like I can't be productive. So there is that, but it's not really the point of the video. I kind of just want to talk about a lot of thoughts that I've had that I have wanted to actually touch on more in an actual discussion, but I don't know when that will be, and I feel like might as well just get it out the way, be spontaneous, and then I can, if I have any regrets, I can delete this video later on. I don't know. But yeah, just guess I want to do a bit of a yap session and just update you on just how things have been behind the scenes and just anything like that. But yeah, please bear with me if I am slow though, because I am trying to work on not using filler words again, like I said in my last discussion, because I feel like I've been using them a little bit more, and I'm trying to work on that because it sounds better when I'm like trying to explain how I feel and whatnot. It's just more professional, I guess, so that's kind of just where my mind's going. So yeah, let's just get into it. I've had a lot to think about over the last few weeks since probably a little after the time that I finished my first, I guess, remake slash re-official first episode, whatever you want to call it, of Faith Unfiltered. At the very least, it's been like 2.5 weeks, I would say. Definitely around the time that I left for camp, I would say, but there's just I've had a lot to think about with the way I've kind of conveyed my thoughts, and as I said, I have struggled a lot with expressing how I feel and talking about my thoughts and opinions and all different things, and I don't always know how best to do that because I do get I hate the idea of hurting people's feelings. I hate the idea of accidentally offending people. And I think still, to some extent, I'm struggling more in the area of wording now. I think sometimes it could also still be tone, but I do imagine I've dialed back a bit where I don't sound so strong. But I also know that I can spiral a bit when I'm like really passionate or just into it. So I really hope for the most part I haven't really hurt anyone's feelings, or just whenever I've had discussions with people in the past, public or private, just anything like that. I've also come to realize that I have definitely been a bit hypocritical, and I'm still working on it, but just been more like internal thoughts of realizing where I have been more hypocritical and judgmental, even if I haven't meant to. I've just I get thoughts, they're just very automatic, and it's not an excuse obviously, but where I guess I do judge people still, and I'm really trying not to, but I do know that not everyone is on the same walk of life when it comes to being a Christian or just in general. And a lot of it does stem from just me having a lot of convictions with different things in comparison to other people. I'm definitely more on the stricter side of things in terms of what I believe in and what I feel is right and wrong. And obviously not everyone's going to have the same convictions, but then I guess I don't know always how to navigate between conviction and then discernment on something that's actually right or wrong according to the Bible, because again, people disagree on what those things can entail. And this was actually going to be a bit of a discussion I wanted to talk about for my next episode, but I might as well just briefly touch on it. Because there are a lot of, if I take media for example, there are a lot of shows or movies and then just overall, I don't know, cosplays or engagement kind of things where I am not comfortable with it at all. And there are ones that I would say I don't like think any Christians should be partaking in. But then that could be interpreted as it's a conviction thing. And I guess it's like there's going to be disagreement there. So it's hard for me because I don't know how I'm supposed to navigate the likes of that. And I'm also not perfect because I know that I can say those things that I'm also a little bit hypocritical in some areas where I'm probably brushing things off and trying to focus more on personal intention or skipping stuff or, just avoiding it. And that has been a little bit hard lately, I would say. But yeah, I think I've just had a bit more awareness with where I'm falling short. But there is also a little bit more, like, at least for the last 2 weeks, pretty much around the time from camp or just after I got back from camp, I've just been very distant from the Lord. And I literally feel frozen in terms of, like, reading the Bible too. And I mean, I did kind of express that in a community post. So I don't like that that's happening, but I don't know what to do, and it does feel a bit hypocritical of me to be making such videos and then I'm not even doing what should be, I guess, a daily habit or a routine. And I know we can't tie our works to our relationship with the Lord, but obviously it's still important to read the Bible and pray, even if it's just shortly, and I feel like I can't even do that. So I do definitely think that if I were to make videos and stuff now, I just would feel like a hypocrite because I'm talking about all these things, but then I'm still struggling. And where does one find the balance with that? And I've also been thinking a bit more about how it's definitely one of the, I guess, biggest idols right now for me is I am still really struggling to let go of, like, the idea that I have to be liked by everyone. I've never been a huge people pleaser in, like, a typical sense, but it is hard because I still do cling very tightly to friendships, and I take a lot of considerations when I'm just mentally scripting or just going about my day and thinking about, what I'll talk about next. And, if I think it's going to relate to some person, I start, like, figuring out, like, in my head, how's this person going to feel? Is this going to affect them? Is this going to ruin something? And so that has created a lot of hesitancy. And the point of Faith Unfiltered is to encourage myself and just step out of my comfort zone and be more bold in my faith and what I believe in. But it is hard because I'm not trying to live for the world, but I also don't want to hurt those in it. And, like, ultimately it's a risk. Like, people will get hurt if they take offense to it, if they want to take offense to it, or they just, if it happens, it happens. It's just still very much a hard thing for me personally. And that's where I'm struggling with, because I'm always feeling like I need the clarification that, as long as I'm expressing myself, I can still be on good terms with people. And I don't want this to sound like I'm trying to victimize myself either, because I would hate the idea that I'm taking advantage of people's kindness or empathy and sympathy. That's also not what I'm trying to do either. But yeah, so, like, you might be able to hear the emotion in my voice. That's because I guess speaking it out loud does make it feel more real. But yeah, this is just a lot that's been on my mind lately. It's mostly just, I would say the last two, but most particularly the latter. It's definitely hard. I really don't like the idea that I would potentially hurt people's feelings and still risk offending. And it's gonna happen, but it's just, I think just more recently, I'm still tying to this idea that I have to be liked by people. And so when I'm thinking about people who might see things differently. It's like, am I gonna say something that's gonna hurt them? Or it's just like a problem at the moment, I guess, for me. And then obviously, yeah, where I'm going with my walk with Christ right now, it's not even going, and I hate that's the case for me, but it is, and it's incredibly hard. But like, I guess, I don't know, I have no point for where I'm going with this. It's just more to get my thoughts out and to kind of let people know where, I guess, how I'm feeling, where things have been, because I've had some pretty good days, I will say. Like, my weeks have been well. These are just more once in a while kind of things, or every so often. Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say, and I don't want this video to be extensively long, so I'll leave it at this. And my stars, why did I get kicked out? Anyway, yeah, I don't know how long I'll keep this video up, but just a little while, and then maybe when I get around to making my next discussion, I'll take this down. But yeah, I appreciate it if you made it to the end of this yap session. And I'm also speaking very quietly because it is nighttime and I don't want to bother people. So there's that. But anyway, without further ado, I will see you guys another time.